Welcome to Signal Soundbytes. I'm Brandon Peña, editor-in-chief of The Signal, and today we will be talking about the Nike backlash for their new campaign, UHCL's new buildings, and Hawkward. So joining me today, I have two very special guests. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Izuh, and I am a live reporter for The Signal.
And student body president.
And student body president, but anyways.
And I'm Jessica. I'm vice president, outreach and communication in SGA, and I'm also our SGA rep for campus activities board.
Nice.
So I'm around, you know.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. All right, so Nike recently released the 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign featuring former NFL player Colin Kaepernick. This sparked outrage, boycotts, support, and praise on social media. Research by Edison Trends revealed that Nike's online sales surged 31%. So what do you think of Nike's decision to include Kaepernick in their campaign?
Financially sound and smart, and they knew what they were doing. Also, Nike, don't they always do this, or they always say there's somebody who's relevant in the media as a sports personality of some sort, Nike endorses them while they're in the midst of a controversy, quote unquote. It's smart. They know what they're doing. Also, I mean, if you're mad, maybe you should look at some introspection and think.
All right.
I mean, Nike's a business at the end of the day. I think they understand the effectiveness of polarity. Polarity is important in business. Polarity gets you, attention. I think that, regardless of what your opinion is on Colin Kaepernick and them endorsing him or whatever, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing to make money. And there's that whole thing of people burning their Nike products, and Nike's okay, and you already bought our stuff? What, so I think that my opinion about them actually using Colin Kaepernick, I mean, I've never the whole kneeling during the anthem, we have the right to protest. I've always been one of those people. So I mean, Colin Kaepernick's a cool dude.
So would you guys say you support Nike's decision?
I would.
Absolutely.
All right, so how do you feel about, just brands in general essentially taking these type of social and political stances? Is it, beneficial? Is it something that could harm their, maybe their reputation or their customers?
I think it can harm their reputation, but again, I think polarity is important. For example, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is a well-known group that has a very strong religious affiliation. And I mean, obviously they do really well because everyone loves Chick-fil-A. But sometimes it can hurt your reputation, and other times, again, back to that polarity thing, it can get you a lot of attention. I think it also goes back to last year when Disney showed Coco, or was that 2 years ago now? They showed Coco and they did that Frozen short in front of it, and there was a lot of conversation about that and their decision to do that. I think at the end of the day, businesses are businesses and they make their decisions to make money, and they're for-profit organizations that are typically owned by private groups. So we might not like what they support, but they're allowed to support what they want to support.
How about you, Izuh?
I feel. I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't really think. I think it can be a problem or it could be good. I think it's just Nike weighed the pros and cons of the situation, and I feel like any way that you slice it, there wasn't really a risk for Nike in my eyes. I don't think. Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're up. Their sales have increased. So
they should just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
There you go.
Also, all the memes.
Speaking of just doing it, UHCL just opened their new buildings, Campus Recreation and Wellness Center, and also the STEM and Classroom building. So have you seen the new buildings, and what do you think of them?
I have not been to the STEM building. I've seen pictures of it and it looks beautiful, but I haven't been over there. The rec center, however, I have been to, and it is amazing. Their equipment is so nice. Like, everything in there is so new. And every time I go to the gym, like, to work out, which has been like all of 2 times, but every time I go, I'm like, look at all this nice, all these screens. I can access my Facebook while I'm on the treadmill. But yeah, it's super nice. And they have a smoothie bar over there, so that's really cool. That's new. But yeah, I haven't been over to the STEM building. I know Izuh has though, so he could probably shed some light over there.
I have actually signed up for a class like the second week of school, and it just so happened to be in the STEM building, so I have class over there, and it's really nice. This is totally random, but like when you press the what's it called? Elevator button, like it'll audibly say dun, dun, going up, and it's like really loud. And it's funny because every single time
I actually hate elevators that do that.
But it's funny. The building's like super big, like it's way bigger than it looks like it is from the outside, and like there's so many new classrooms and like new labs, and it's really great.
The landscaping outside is really cool too. Like when you walk in between like the campus rec building and the STEM building, I just stand there and I think, wow.
And if you look at it at night with the lights and everything, it's like a new. Mm-hmm. It's a new building.
Also, let's not forget that residence hall is sprouting up fast.
Yeah.
Every time I walk over there, I'm like, there's almost a building here.
Like last week, there was like one like structural frame up, and like now they're working on building on top of the structural frame. So I'm like, they're making moves.
How does it feel like, have you guys ever walked from this building, which is the Bayou building, over to one of those buildings? Like, what's the walk like? Is it doable, or is it like, what would you advise for students? Maybe wear tennis shoes?
Yeah, we're spoiled. So, it's an ugly walk to me because I've been here on campus for like 4 years, and I've never had to walk further than SSCB to Bayou, which is literally barely a walk at all. I walked the other day in the heat from the rec building to Bayou, and I wanted to die. Like, it was so hot. I got there, I was like, but really it was the heat that made it bad. The walk itself's not bad. If the temperature's good, or if it's not super hot, it's fine. Definitely I recommend nice supportive shoes, a scooter or a skateboard. Dr. Yee, wherever you are, I see you on your scooter.
Iconic.
You are an icon. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
So do you guys think that the new buildings plus the upcoming dorms will bring more students to the university?
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it this year with the increase in enrollment. So I think as long as we keep growing and flowing, the school
growing and flowing.
Y'all like that, right? Yeah. As long as that keeps happening, the school will just like keep going up and up, and UHCL's on the come up.
Yeah, I think, I'm not to say that there are specifically more of this group, but I've seen more of like younger, like first year students actually present on campus because of like the new buildings, I think. Before, it was like same old. I knew everyone who I saw in the hallway. And the other day I was in the rec building, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was over there and I was like just looking around and I'm thinking to myself, there's so many first year, or maybe they're transfers, I don't want to assume anything, but there's just so many students who look like, your average college student. And then I'm like, I've never seen this before. Who are you?
I totally agree. I feel like for the past 2 years, I've not known, but I've seen
the same people,
the exact same people on campus. And now I remember yesterday I went to go work out, and I literally did not recognize one face I saw in the rec center, which is wild.
New faces, new places. There you go.
New
I know,
places,
like,
new faces.
Yeah. Well, I remember like I have class in the SSCB building, and it's on the second floor. And so whenever I pass by the old rec center, I just see like all the machines just there in the
They're
dark.
so sad.
But it's like I kind of want to work out there. It's like, can we pay to go there? But yeah, so that's interesting. But we all know that there's moments when you wish you could crawl under a rock or run in the other direction because the situation is just too awkward. If you are a UHCL Hawk, that is appropriately called Hawkward moments. Guys, do you have any Hawkward moments for us?
Oh, y'all asked me this last time, and I couldn't think of anything.
Which was just Hawkward in and of itself.
Yes, really.
Let me think. It's not really awkward, but it's just a funny story that I want to laugh at.
Go for it.
Okay, so like for the past like few months, the tires on my car have been like ridiculously low tread. Like anytime that it rains, I'm like, yikes, y'all trying to drive? Because it's like my tires were bad. So over the weekend, I went to go change them with my dad, and like he knew how bad like each tire was, and he had the nerve to walk out and say, yeah, I think we need like 1 to 2 tires, when like every single tire was like there was no tread on them anymore. It was like just gone. And then the service specialist guy, he like looked at us, and I started laughing, and then he started laughing. And my dad didn't think it was too funny, but I thought it was funny. Awkward. No, I'm joking.
Awkward. Man, I'm trying to think. I have lots of like cringy stories. So I drive for Uber and Lyft,
Okay.
And that's just like the birth of cringe stories, like awkward moments.
What's like a recent one that you've had that's like, I wish this person could get out of my car?
Oh, it's so hard because there's so many weird ones. I'm trying to think of a good one. I take people to really weird places sometimes, or sometimes I like pick people up, and it's like I'll pick up like a 15-year-old kid and drive him like an hour to North Houston. I'm like, what's going on in your life that this is happening? Man. Oh, I have the perfect. Oh my God! It came to me. Okay. My Hawkward.
We're ready.
My Hawkward driving story. So the other night, and by the other night I mean a few weeks ago, I picked up this guy, and he was young, like because he told me he was still in high school, so he was probably like 16, 17 years old. And I pick him up from work, or from his work, and he gets in my car, and I try to be like, hey, how are you doing tonight? Like, make people feel comfortable, but not too much conversation, because, some people don't want to talk. And honestly, I prefer to drive inside. Like, I have music on, but I prefer not to speak, because you don't want to make awkward, like, small talk with people. You're just uncomfortable. But this kid starts talking to me, and he's, like, saying something about school and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, you're still in school? And he goes, yeah, I go to, whatever, Clear Lake, one of the Clear CCISD schools. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I said, so do you have any plans for after graduation? Because he told me he was a senior. And he was like, oh, yeah, I want to be a rapper. And I was like, oh, cool. And then basically what the next 20 minutes of the ride proceeded to him telling me, he was like, yeah, man, like all these rappers in the media now, like they don't know nothing. But like, he was like, let me tell you, like, he was like, I can spit fire. No. And he was like, and he was just like, he was like, I'm gonna make my own beats. I'm gonna be self-made. And he was like, and you know what? People tell me I can't do it, but you know what? If I keep grinding and striving and believing, he was like, I'm gonna make it. And he was like, there's got to be one person out there that's gonna mess with my music.
I can't even be mad at that. That's respect.
And I'm just sitting there the whole time, like, not saying anything. Like, I'm just sitting there, like, I can't. Like, I was just so uncomfortable the whole time. So I dropped this kid off to his girlfriend's work. So I drove him from his work to his girlfriend's work. And I drop him off, go about my business. I left like, all right, that was uncomfortable. The next day I get in my car and he left his phone in my car. So I'm like, great, I have to return this phone to this kid. So I get on the app or whatever, I report there's a missing item, and I knew it was him because like the last message was like from baby girl. and it said like whatever about coming to get, or about me going to drop him off, him getting a ride. And so I like report it missing, and then as I have the phone in my hand, the girlfriend calls, and I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello? And she's like, who is this? Like, and I'm just like, okay, who do you think it is? I'm like, this is your driver, like, I have the phone. And she goes, so, like, none of us have any money, so can you just bring the phone to us? And I'm over here like, okay. So we made plans for me to go meet up with them to bring them back the phone. Also, they were hella rude. I'm like, you're gonna make me drive out to bring you your phone, and you were rude? But anyway, yeah, the story ends with me returning the phone, and I, like, put a thing in through the Uber app that's like, yeah, return their phone, and Uber actually charges you $15 for someone to return an item for you. And I was talking to an associate, and I was like, yeah, I returned the item, like, they were kind of rude, and they messaged me back. They're like, we don't strive for that at Uber, we will not pair you with that rider again. And I was like, thanks. And so I'll never see him again.
Wow. I mean, like, what you should have done is just like, hey, well, since we're having this awkward drive, why don't you spit some bars for me? Let's
I wanted to, but I was scared.
You're like, let's get there safe.
And that's my Hawkward moment.
All right. Well, guys, this has been a great episode. Thank you for being here today. And for more reporting, head to UHCLthesignal.com, like us on Facebook, and send us your comments, suggestions to signalsoundbites at UHCLthesignal.com. Do you guys have any final statements you'd like to tell anybody? No?
The choice is clear. University of Houston Clear Lake. Hot. I'll stop. Okay, I can end it. Bye.
Is that even our tagline anymore?
No.
Is it not? Isn't it? Well, all I see is like the Here We Go campaigns.
Yeah.
It's like UHCL, Here We Go.
And the choice is clear.
Here we go.
It's catching on. Ah!
All right. Well, yeah.
Signal Soundbytes. Woo!